This is the X-Fan Show. For the fans, by the fans.
Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can ride with A-Train, dropping the facts you know. Latest in sports and entertainment. Word up, we running the pavement. Get your pens ready, got the hot takes that'll make the headlines sweaty. Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can take a ride with the A-Train, talking the latest in sports and entertainment. Yeah, it's the A-Train. Peace. Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can ride with A-Train, dropping the facts you know. Latest in sports and entertainment. Word up, we running the pavement. Get your pens ready, got the hot takes that'll make the headlines sweaty. Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can take a ride with the A-Train, talking the latest in sports and entertainment. Yeah, it's the A-Train. Peace. Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can ride with A-Train, dropping the facts you know. Latest in sports and entertainment. Word up, we running the pavement. Get your pens ready, got the hot takes that'll make the headlines sweaty. Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can take a ride with the A-Train, talking the latest in sports and entertainment. Yeah, it's the A-Train. Peace. Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can ride with A-Train, dropping the facts you know. Latest in sports and entertainment. Word up, we running the pavement. Get your pens ready, got the hot takes that'll make the headlines sweaty. Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can take a ride with the A-Train, talking the latest in sports and entertainment. Yeah, it's the A-Train. Peace. Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can ride with A-Train, dropping the facts you know. Latest in sports and entertainment. Word up, we running the pavement. Get your pens ready, got the hot takes that'll make the headlines sweaty. Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can take a ride with the A-Train, talking the latest in sports and entertainment. Yeah, it's the A-Train. Peace. Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can ride with A-Train, dropping the facts you know. Latest in sports and entertainment. Word up, we running the pavement. Get your pens ready, got the hot takes that'll make the headlines sweaty. Welcome to the A-Train Show, the show where you can take a ride with the A-Train, talking the latest in sports and entertainment. Yeah, it's the A-Train. Peace.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of the A-Train Show. The A-Train, Arlington Lane. We're back at it again here on a Tuesday. Let's get it in. Coming up on the program is the one and only Scoop B, NBA Insider. We're going to get him into the program. Going to talk some NBA as always, man. And he got some upcoming achievements. I'm going to let him do the talking when it comes to that, okay? All right. But yes, it's been a chaotic week, and no question, man. Just craziness all around. Did you hear the music? You know who's in the house? It's Tuesday. We missed him on Friday, on the Friday special. That's okay. Let's go ahead and bring him in now. The Reverend Doctor's in the house.
It's good.
How you doing, sir?
Man, we riding and rolling. But we
Riding
here.
and rolling. I see you today.
We here, man. We here. I couldn't stay in. I couldn't stay in on Tuesday, and then I had to dip on Friday. Had a lot of stuff to try to get done.
Okay.
You know,
Real quick
play
before
with the play.
that's right. Y'all got that. It already happened, didn't it? It went.
Yeah,
How'd it
it
go?
just happens. It went down Saturday. It
Okay.
was good, man. It was really good. Everything was straight.
Okay.
Shout
We
out, praise
can go
God.
back and watch it. Can we go back and watch the play and stuff like that?
Nah, because
That is,
somebody, I ain't gonna say no names on this broadcast, there's somebody close to me whom I love dearly decided to forget to hit the live stream, so we never streamed it live.
all
She
right.
would kill me if she knew I said her name, so I'm not gonna say her
See, and then
name.
you keep saying her though, but so that means a woman did this. So you
Yeah,
kind of really
you
just hit that.
know,
Yeah. I don't think you should do that anymore. Don't say no more, Doc. Just tell her I love her, and she's still all right with me, man. She's still all
all
right.
right. Yeah, she all right with somebody. She
Yeah.
all right with somebody.
All right. Before we get into our guest, let me talk to you real quick, sir. Get your quick thoughts on what you've seen lately in WWE. I got to get that in.
Man,
How you feeling with the landscape right now, especially everything that's happened from now?
I'm disappointed. I'm so disappointed. I,
Oh man.
I think I'm losing the hope of
Don't lose.
believing that WWE has their finger on the pulse. I'm losing the hope of that. I'm losing it.
Mm.
I'm losing it. I'm losing it, brother.
What, mhm.
The landscape of WWE in this current moment with the firing of certain superstars,
Yeah.
the pulling up of other superstars,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going, is it really, do we really need that right now? We just got off of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
We just came off the road of WrestleMania, and
That's
now
a
we're
fact.
heading towards SummerSlam. You got Backlash coming up next week.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really necessary to start new storylines? Then we're not even really doing anything with the old storylines. It's almost kind of like we're trying to rekindle old storylines that should have been already done with and over. Like, it's just a lot. The firing of Kyrie, the firing of the Wyatt Six. Like, it's a lot that's happening right now.
Okay.
So I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of nervous for what we're seeing right now.
All right. We'll touch a lot more on that on Thursday. On Thursday's
All
show,
right,
we'll get into all of that and
all right,
get a breakdown. But like I told you, man, we got a special guest in the house, and
yeah.
celebrating some upcoming achievements with his career and with everything that's going on. So I'm gonna play this real quick for him. There's a little small intro. Let me bring him in, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only NBA insider, Scoop B. What's going on, sir?
Man, what's going on? Reverend Doctor, what's going on?
What's going on, sir? How you feeling, man? Been a minute.
It's been a minute and some change. It looked like you done came up. You done took some money out the orphan plate.
No, never, never. That'll never be my storyline, buddy.
I know.
One of the things I'll never be responsible for is taking God's money from God's people.
Hey, let me tell you something, Scoop. Let me tell you something, man. He got some sisters, and baby, they will come for you if you.
Absolutely,
Hey,
absolutely.
he
They
ain't got to
keep me
say
on
a
business, Doc.
word. He ain't got to say a
Yeah,
word. The sisters
yeah.
take
Way
behind
good
him.
care
They
of me.
take care of him. Like they make sure
Yeah, man.
they will
Yeah,
come for you. And listen, I learned the hard way.
yeah, yeah. They come
I
for it,
learned the
man.
hard way.
They make sure that business is square, and they make sure I ain't got nothing to do with it, so that nobody would ever say that I had a hand in nothing, because they
Because
won't say it.
because they say that the Lord loves a cheerful giver. So I'm glad you
Yes,
delegated
sir.
that accordingly.
He does.
All right.
He does. He
Yeah,
does.
God is
Good to see you, man.
you as well. You as well. You as well.
All right. let's get into it. It's the scoop with Scoop B, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we got this NBA playoffs that's going on right now currently, and I will say myself, I've been quite surprised a little bit with one of the teams, but another one. I was expecting a lot more, but the team that they're going against is actually supposed to be in this position now. And that team is the Orlando Magic because
I
the
knew you were
Detroit
gonna say that.
Pistons. I don't think they're ready for prime time. You know it. You know me well. The Orlando Magic's supposed to be here. And yet the Detroit Pistons is just looking like they're not ready for prime time. What's your thoughts on that?
They're where they're supposed to be because injuries have been their Achilles heel the last couple of seasons. I spent some time with Jamal Mosley, head coach of the Orlando Magic, on Easter Sunday, and we talked about just their level of getting bodies right at the right time. And at that point, when he and I spoke, they were kind of propelling into a bit of a win streak. If you remember, Easter Sunday they played the Pelicans, but prior to that, they played the Dallas Mavericks, who were shorthanded. But then they went home after those two wins and then played a Detroit Pistons team. And I really believe that those 3 wins heading towards the end of the season and then going into the play-in tournament really propelled them. And I really think that that loss in the first game gave them the confidence to close it out going against Charlotte. And Jamal Mosley shared with me that really their defensive identity is their calling card. And you really saw that in last night's game, specifically in the third quarter, just forcing turnovers against a team like the Detroit Pistons, who also have a pretty known identity as a defensive stalwart, if you will. But I really think that Orlando has a collection of guys that really understand the game of basketball. And I think the acquisition of Desmond Bane exponentially has produced growth for this team. I've often compared his impact on that Orlando Magic team to that of when a healthy Grant Williams did in Boston for the Celtics when they went to the 2022 NBA Finals alongside Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and others. And when I look at Bane coming from Memphis and hitting deep shots last night in a win against the Detroit Pistons, I mean, it's what they needed. And adding to a healthy Paolo Banchero, I think Orlando's where they're supposed to be, and I think to the national audience they're surprised because I don't think most of the national audience was paying attention to the Orlando Magic this season. In the Eastern Conference, most people are looking at the usual suspects, albeit the Detroit Pistons, the Boston Celtics, and the New York Knicks. And so when you look at the playoffs and regionally, you're starting to see teams that surprise many people. But if you've been paying attention, like yourself, A-Train, Orlando Magic are where they're supposed to be.
Yep.
Exactly. And the other team that's actually another team after that I was thinking about, besides the Denver Nuggets, who won their recent game. Now that they find themselves down 3-2 going into Game 6, but in the process, Minnesota being ahead, they have lost 2 of their backcourt players, Dante DiVincenzo and Anthony Edwards. Does this mean, therefore, the Timberwolves that they're in trouble, or is it still mean that they can still get past Denver and finish them off in the 6th game?
I mean, I'll compare that logic with what we saw maybe 20 plus years ago with the Magic and the Pistons when the Magic were up 3-1. I think that was the Memo Okor era. Great Pistons going against others. And nothing is impossible in basketball, just like the Bible says in Luke 1:37, nothing is impossible with God. But I think in this instance, in your question about the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, if I'm not mistaken, a few years ago, the Nuggets and the Timberwolves played against each other, and one was down and one came back and won. I can't remember what year that was, if that was 22 or 23. But I think that the playoffs that we're looking at now kind of remind me of the NCAA tournament. It's not a foregone conclusion. Like a favorite is going to win. Like I remember for many years, it was Cleveland and Golden State every year. Like every year is somebody else, and Denver has been there before. Has been multiple champions, and Jokic and company have to kind of dig themselves out of that hole. Personally, I don't think they should have ever fired Mike Malone, and I think that is part of the reason why Denver finds itself in this position, because I think while personalities may clash, he's a taskmaster, and it seems like the players on that Nuggets team are playing more of the role of accountability partners than the actual coaches. That's my opinion. But I do think that Denver does have a chance to come back if specifically because you got two key pieces out, Dante DiVincenzo and Anthony Edwards. But Minnesota still has the lead. All they have to do is close it out. So I think all hands on deck for the next game are going to be important. You're going to have to see more out of McDaniels. You are going to have to see more out of Rudy. You are going to see, to be honest with you, this is a game tailor-made for Naz Reid and Julius Randle if you're Minnesota. But Jokic around and getting a triple-double, man, against a Minnesota team that should be closing this out is kind of not a way to start this whole momentum for Denver, because once they start, once you pop, the fun's not going to stop.
You got anything, Doc?
No, I was just going to ask, do you feel like Denver will rally in some way to try to, since their two main stars in Minnesota is down, do you think they will rally in some way to overcome that defeat, that feat of the next two games?
It seems like Denver likes rally fries more than playing checkers against the Timberwolves. Do you see what I did?
Flip that one, yeah.
But again, in answer to your question, yeah, they can rally, but basketball still is a game of it's a team game. Yeah, you're missing a star and a very vital complementary role player in Dante DiVincenzo. But Minnesota made moves to sign Naz Reid for times like this, and they traded to get Ayo Dosunmu for times like this. So to me, yeah, you're missing Anthony Edwards, but if I'm Minnesota, I'm taking a page out of the Lakers' book. The Lakers in the first round going up against the Houston Rockets without Luka, without Austin Reeves, and LeBron James is taking care of business. So, in answer to your question, who's going to play the role of LeBron? Who's going to play the role of DeAndre Ayton? Who's going to play the role of Rui Hachimura comparatively in the Minnesota Timberwolves system? Many people thought that just because Luka and Reeves were out, that LeBron was just going to be old and decrepit and not take care of business. And at 41 years old, the opposite happened. And I feel like in Minnesota, you got solid veterans. You have someone in a Mike Conley who's in LeBron's age bracket.
That's what I was going to say.
And, I mean, he's not scoring like LeBron, but he's a leader, and he's a trusted and respected leader. You traded Ayo. You traded him to get Ayo and then brought him back. There's a reason you brought him back. So, that leadership quality, but also just that coaching philosophy. I really do that. I think Minnesota can rally and close this out, but you can't give up leads like that. Like I feel like if you were to make a mistake, if you're Minnesota and you make a mistake, yesterday's game was the mistake to make so that you close it out moving forward.
Thanks.
Gotcha. Okay. We're talking with Scoop B right here on the A-Train Show, and always glad to have him on the program. You mentioned Ayo Dosunmu, and I want to use that for my next talking point. What in the hell is wrong with the Chicago Bulls? Because it seemed, and it's my team, but I have been vocal about the Bulls online about what's been going on with Michael Reinsdorf. They went and fired AK. They fired Mark Eversley as general manager, and Billy Donovan said, "I'm not coming back," which I was elated. And you went in the last 4 or 5 years or so, you've gotten rid of the core pieces that you believed were championship contending pieces, and now they're all of them are gone. What is the what is the landscape in your mind you think is where Chicago's future is headed? Because please help me, because I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
Well, I mean, you listen. In answer to if I didn't answer that question, I'd have to go back to the landscape of where the Bulls started in 21, 22. You, as a Bulls organization, believed that an iteration of Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic were a team in the Eastern Conference that could scrimmage against, at the time, um, Eastern Conference. Like the Eastern Conference was wide open at that point, and unfortunately, Lonzo Ball's health really, uh, as a playmaker, really hindered that progress. They lucked out by drafting a Kobe White, but he's as far as style of play and the way that you were looking to run that offense, he's more of a combo guard than he is a traditional point. And so when you look at just how that Bulls team shaped up, you pretty much had LaVine playing point forward, DeRozan was available, and then you had Vooch, who could spread the floor, command a double team, kick out, to the wide open on the wing, and then post up when he needed to also. And you brought in Billy Donovan as their head coach. There are other players or other coaches available in 2020 during the COVID period that were available, but ultimately that Bulls team was built to at least compete. Championship, I think that was ambitious, but competitively, yeah, in the Eastern Conference, a healthy Bulls team at that point could have competed. And over time, just consistent disappointments, play-ins, and then not appearing in the playoffs, period. Like last year, they competed. They were competing with Miami. On paper last year, to me, the Bulls had a better roster than the Miami Heat in the play-in tournament last year, but health was not on their side. Like Kobe White became the focal point, the face of that organization. And it's funny because he was drafted. He was homegrown. It was like there was this hope that they could build. But the other issue with the Bulls is nobody really wants to come there right now because many people feel like they're chasing Michael's ghost. LeBron James, being from Akron by way of Cleveland, had considered, at points during free agency before, during the Miami era or before he had committed to Miami of playing for the Bulls. And everything that I've heard and been told is that, that whole Michael dichotomy, similarly with, even Kyrie and Kevin Durant coming in New York as members of the Knicks during their free agency period. They did not want to chase Ewing, Starks, and others, so they created their own situation in Brooklyn that didn't have an identity. And so to answer your question about the Bulls, I just think it comes down to always don't unlock new doors. And any front office person that you bring in, it's going to ultimately come through an executive in Boston, Oklahoma City, or San Antonio.
Wow. I'll never have seen it like that. I'd have never seen it like that. Wow. Anything, Doc?
No, I think I was just gonna ask, because we're seeing no real dominant team like in the NBA, and so of course we already know where OKC has been, now kind of getting back somewhat healthy and starting to see them roll again. And then if the hype behind Wemby, looking at Boston trying to get adequated with Jalen coming back, I mean, not with Jalen, Jason Tatum coming back. So how do you feel like the playoffs is? Do you think it's increasing from years previous? Because we started losing a little of the excitement for the playoffs at one point. Do you feel like it's kind of getting into its excitement back watching the games now than before?
The playoffs in general?
Yeah, in general, just overall.
I think that we hold on to this narrative of our parents and our grandparents that we're not watching basketball because Michael is not playing anymore. And if you're looking at the data of viewership, the viewership doesn't support that theory. People are still watching TV.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of like, when, I don't know if your parents were like this, but as a kid, like, stop eating chocolate and you won't get pimples. And people say it enough, right? And you might have an uncle that might say if you do something else, the pimples might go away, and then you realize that's not true, right?
Right.
Things enough,
Right.
You tend to believe that as fact. And if we're to go by the data that's being presented, the numbers don't support the fact that that is true. Now, opinions do matter to certain people. Same people who say, I'm not watching basketball because Michael is not playing, are the same people who are talking about Magic City Wings in the Knicks locker room after. Or people who like an underdog story, like Oklahoma, who are the Seattle Supersonics organization that moved and created their own identity and separate from Seattle. And you got an MVP that's Canadian and Antiguan and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and then people who are enamored with a guy that's between 7'4" and 7'6" in Wemby, who is from France. And now all of a sudden you have this influx of talent coming from France. And, so it's like there are storylines that don't involve LeBron, Kobe, Michael, but people are still interested. I think that the NBA at large, and also the players at large have been able to craft storylines that are interesting. But to me, that's nothing new under the sun. You saw that in the 90s when you knew that the Heat and the Knicks hated each other and Jeff Van Gundy was on Alonzo Mourning's leg. Nothing is new under the sun. Just the digital landscape has changed. And that's why I still hold on to my belief that the NBA is still the new WWE, because we care more about off the court stuff than we do on the court.
Facts.
No, I get it. I definitely understand that, man. Definitely understand that. I think that was the thing that kind of really, because I noticed like the years previous, people kind of got tired of the same, it's like the same teams, the same stuff going on, and it almost kind of became like it was fixed, where you kept hearing the word fixed all the time, right? So now you're starting to see the surgence of teams just coming out of nowhere. And man, who would have thought that the Pelicans, that the Hornets would look like they did, in the league this year, but they did. They looked incredible. Even in losses, they looked incredible without the other antics,
Well, there are some. I think the trade at the deadline benefited them. They got tougher. They brought in Xavier Tillman. They brought in Kobe White.
Right.
In addition to that, it comes down to coaching. I think Charles Lee, the head coach of the Charlotte Hornets, is still a very unknown to many people, because I think it comes down to national audience. It's kind of what I said about Orlando. Even what I said about the Atlanta Hawks. We pay attention to the Knicks, the Lakers, the Warriors, the Celtics, and if the Bulls are good, great, right? San Antonio has Wemby, so that's a misnomer in the sense of, like, you pay attention. Oklahoma City's the champs. People create narratives. I remember during the finals in 23, where Miami and Denver played against each other, and everybody said nobody's watching that. Now the data supported that the numbers were down, but that didn't mean that social media conversation wasn't still prevalent. It's a pain in the butt to fly to Oklahoma if you're a media person, because you can't always get direct flights. But at the same time, if you love basketball, you love basketball, and people are still going to talk. I think that it's just a new crop of talent has emerged. Like, that's why we have conversations. If I was a fan before I became a journalist, and why we have conversations about face of the league. Those are the same conversations we were having in the 90s. Was it Michael? Was it Dominique Wilkins? Was it this person? And then when Michael retired, is it going to be Harold Miner, Grant Hill, Kobe Bryant? We've always had was it going to be Penny Hardaway? We've always had these conversations.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing them in new forms with new players.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
That's crazy.
Very well put.
That's crazy.
Talking it over with Scoop B here on the A Train Show here on a Tuesday afternoon. We've been touching on some of the things that's been going on in the NBA. Of course, the NBA playoffs that is going on right now. One of the biggest, I guess, storylines right now is this whole ordeal with Kevin Durant and this injury that he has right now. They're going into Game 5. Listen, I don't have an issue with Kevin Durant, but I wanted you, Scoop, to check out this clip. This came from this morning on First Take. It is your boy Kendrick Perkins. Got something to say when asked, is KD still a desirable player? So take a look off to your right or your left.
Is he still a desirable player? Is he still the number one, as we talked about that last block, for a team? Perk, your thoughts?
Hell no. Hell no, he's not. And look, I believe that Kevin Durant is the greatest scorer to ever touch a damn basketball. I believe that Kevin Durant, because, man, fix your body language, S.A. Fix your body language and hear me out. Hear me out. I believe that he still puts the ball in the basket better than majority of the NBA. But let's go facts over feelings right now, and let's keep it a buck. The Brooklyn Nets, disaster. The Phoenix Suns ran through 2 or 3 coaches. 2 of them was championship caliber coaches. A disaster. What did the Phoenix Suns do this year? They made it to the postseason. They were one of the biggest surprises in the NBA. Okay, fast forward. Let's look at the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets last year got to the first round. I believe they pushed the Golden State Warriors as the number 2 seed to 7 games, if I'm not mistaken, 6 or 7 games. I believe that the Houston Rockets did give up a guy in Jalen Green that they drafted with the number 2 pick. They did give up a guy in Dillon Brooks, who's a culture setter, to get KD and some picks. And all of a sudden you bring to the Houston Rockets, what has been the biggest knock on the Rockets this year? Their chemistry is so bad to the point where people were questioning, is Ime Udoka still a good coach?
Your thoughts, sir?
He didn't lie. I'll give you more context to the Rockets. I spent time around them and the Cavaliers this year. And to me, there's some similarities. You got vets mixed with young folks. And right. You pay attention to chemistry in the locker room after games, right? So you look at the Cavs, and those guys are pretty solid. You know, Jalen Tyson is a young guy. He's young, he's solid. You got some other guys on that team. Then you look at Houston. You got Amen Thompson. You got Şengün. You got those are young guys, you know, mixed with Tyrese and Kevin Durant. And I'll tell you, just paying attention to that locker room after games, you see that those guys still aren't gelled, but they're gelling. I think the biggest surprise for that team this year was the fact that Fred VanVleet wasn't playing this season because he tore his ACL. And then, you know, there was a situation, I'm told that the Rockets were pretty close in landing 2 point guards, one or the other, not both at the same time. You look at how well C.J. McCollum is playing. C.J. McCollum almost became a Houston Rocket at the deadline. Then you look at Kobe White. Kobe White almost became a Houston Rocket at the deadline. And you look at how well C.J. McCollum is doing in Atlanta and in that locker room. You wonder, a point guard makes all the difference in the world. What would a Rockets team look like if a C.J. McCollum was still running the 1 in Houston? I think it could be a different team because point guards are leaders. They're the line leaders. They're the extension of the teacher or the coach on the floor. It's not a matter of Ime Udoka's philosophy. It's a matter of guys buying in and gelling.
Believe in it. Yep.
But I also believe that whole KD burner stuff changed the complexity of that locker room. And I was around that Rockets team around that time when all that stuff came out and people were very hypersensitive to it. And so I think that's my answer to your question. Is the Houston Rockets need a reset? I don't think it's about trading Kevin Durant. I wouldn't hit that panic button just yet. I think it's a matter of getting a point guard. The guard that the Houston Rockets need, if not CJ McCollum, if not Kobe White, you know who they need? Kyrie Irving.
You can, listen here. Let me tell you something.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Wait,
Don't do that.
because so what you're not saying it. You're really not even implying it, but you're giving the thought and idea that this idea with Fred VanVleet, is he still part of this mix? Because a part of me felt like for a minute, Reed Shepherd is slowly taking that job away from Fred VanVleet because, of course, when you're injured, you're next man up, and you're trying to do a decent enough job to potentially take that job away from him. And what it does now, if that were the case, that means Houston's on the hook with that extension that they gave him, and not part of this future plan. If you're talking about bringing in another guard, what does that mean for him? What does that mean for Fred? Fred's out, right?
Maybe. Again,
That's cool.
the Rockets, I can't give you anything concrete, and people clip me all day, so I'm not giving any definites. But
we'll give him this one all day long. You can have what you want.
But what I am saying is this:
It's cool. Funny.
At Kyrie's situation in Dallas, I know that Minnesota was heavily interested in bringing him in at the deadline. I know that Anthony Edwards was intrigued by the notion of being teammates with Kyrie, right? When I look at a team not named Minnesota that could utilize his services, the Houston Rockets are right up there. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, when they left Brooklyn, before they left, almost became Phoenix Suns teammates. There was a discrepancy in conversation with the Suns and the Nets about who will be giving up what. The Nets almost had Ayton, Chris Paul in Nets uniforms, and the Suns almost had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving as teammates in Phoenix. The Nets were not going to give Kyrie what he wanted. Ime Udoka coached Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant in Brooklyn as an assistant coach under Steve Nash. If the Rockets want to get better, you bring in a healed vet in Kyrie Irving. That's what
Do you think he'll leave Dallas with now having Cooper as Rookie of the Year, but also being able that they're building around that nucleus and giving him a little bit more of weaponry? Do you feel like that he would leave Dallas at this moment now?
You sound so proper saying weaponry.
Well, that's only because Dallas. I'm born and raised in Dallas. I'm a Dallas native, so
I got you.
Yeah.
Shout out to 214.
Yeah, 214. However, I stay in Houston, and I've been in Houston for over almost 30 years. So being that I've been in Houston for almost 30 years, I'm kind of torn between both lands. I got both landscapes on football and basketball. I have both landscapes.
You have dual citizenship in Houston.
I do.
And you're familiar with their weaponry.
Yeah, I am, man. I am. So I would love to see Kyrie come to Houston and play with these guys. However, I think I would rather him stay in Dallas to see what that nucleus would look like with a healed Kyrie playing with Cooper and that crew. I think I would like to see that.
You got to see what the answer to your question. Dallas has shifted a lot, and if you're playing meaningless basketball, meaning if you're Kyrie Irving, you're not getting any younger. You're playing regular season games and wowing the crowd, but you're not adding on to your legacy. If that's what you want to do, cool. But if you're looking to compete for a championship with a team that has skeleton of a complete team, you consider it. His agent's from Houston, I'll add. So
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, like you look at the Rockets and you look at the that's on that team. If Dallas is trying to get better, Dallas may want to look at the young pieces on that team that may not fit. You look at a Tyree Eason, who I think could be a star on a team. And
for sure.
Even if not a star, at least a
Good role player.
A star role player.
Yeah.
And he will be that in the next 3 to 5 years. He has the swag for it. He has the fact that we're talking about Tyree Eason's struggling jumper in the regular season when Kevin Durant is on that team, that's saying something.
Yeah.
Because he's taking big shots. You compliment on Cooper Flagg and some of those other guys on that team. It's interesting. So in answer to your question, if Dallas is trying to build a young movement and the only bargaining chip they have left on that team of a star, because you don't have Anthony Edwards anymore, you have Kyrie and you're looking to rebuild. I mean, the Dallas Mavericks have been telling you that they were going to wait and see if Kyrie is going to come back, that they have championship aspirations, that they have playoff aspirations. They traded their star in Luka Doncic, and everybody's still believing the Dallas Mavericks.
And Nico ain't there no more.
Right.
Nico's not there, and they believing in this.
You're
That's
telling
amazing.
you that Kyrie is still their star and he's protected. What did Jay say? For the right price, I could make your shit tighter.
No facts.
But exactly. And oh man, like
Thanks, man.
you mentioned Anthony Davis, and I'm like, man, that's wild, dude. It's just that whole change of landscape. And now you mentioned this nugget of potentially seeing a Kyrie Irving in Houston. Because here's the thing: what I got from last year's Houston team and this year's Houston team is that the only difference is Fred VanVleet and Kevin Durant. That's the only differences, and that Jalen Green was gone. Because when you look at it, Phoenix, Jalen Green did a bit better, but they still got nowhere. They wound up getting swept compared to him last year, getting 7 games where he was. And now Durant from last season with the Suns, they went 6 games when they got knocked out, and potentially he ain't even been playing. He played he played the 1 game. I think it was game 2 he played, because he didn't play in Houston. And everybody wanted to be critical. He wants to be critical on him. And I'm like, you can't, that's not even fair. It's not even fair, because if he's out there, then it's one thing. He's not out there, you really can't blame him. And y'all talking about this knee injury. Is it real or not? Are you serious? That's why our man Thompson made the comments and smirks that he made, because he's saying, like, I don't know what Kevin is going through. If you want to know, you ask Kevin.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. But speaking of Kyrie Irving, Stephen A. has something to say about our brother Kyrie. I want y'all to take a look at this.
He always got something to say.
We all know I was all in Kyrie's ass like back pockets back then. I said the brother was a master at missing work or whatever. We have learned so much. I've said this to his father. I've made sure to get the message extended to him. I've said it on the national airways before. I'm going to say it again. I personally owe that man an apology, because the way that I got on Kyrie Irving, good brother, bottom line, his heart's in the right place. People to get on his mistake. He's a good brother, and he deserved better from me. And I owe him that apology, period, because he was more right than wrong, to be quite honest. All
right. All right. That's that. He finished. He said he was sorry. I'm wondering, like, why now? Why now? That you want to apologize to him? Is that because a lot of the things that he said about it was wrong, very wrong. And I'm like,
Perception
SAS
is always people's reality.
but SAS is always standing on business.
Man.
Now all of a sudden you want to no, why now?
Perception is always people's reality until reality slaps them in their perception.
Golly.
It is exactly what it is. People believe what they want to believe until reality sits, and then it overrides whatever perception you had. And you don't really bite those words until you really are man enough to recognize that your perception was only based on an idea of something because of how you saw it and what people said about it. And sometimes it can be what it is. I mean, but that's my take. Scoop is the professional, so let Scoop give us the scoop so I can get out the way.
I mean, that's kind of between them. I kind of stay out of Stephen A. No, I do stay out of his way, and I stay out of Kyrie's way too. If I hear something, I get my information. I hope they work it out. That's my answer.
Hey, and you said you wanted the professional. He gave you the professional answer.
Translation.
Wait, my man literally just told everybody.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Absolutely, man.
That's literally what he just told you. Y'all ain't getting that from me. That's funny. Okay, all right, cool.
My father used to say, "My name is Donald Duck."
Yeah.
You know the rest.
Yeah.
Yes, I got. Oh yes.
Yeah, no, we get it. We definitely get it. We've all said it at some point.
At some point, yes, we have. We all said it at some point. Quite either rudely or just in passing, we all said it. But all right, we got that, and then we have what's going on currently in the I don't know. I want to know something about, you had something about this Giannis thing. I'm always been intrigued anytime I see Giannis's name being mentioned somewhere.
Where is he going next year?
What would be the ideal spot? Because we don't know where he's going to go. I mean, some feels like it ain't know where he's going to go, but where do you feel Giannis should be the best place for him, his family, and potential at a championship?
Orlando.
Let's go. Would Orlando need to give up something?
Yes.
Or does Orlando just, how many people?
I know they have a at the deadline.
So you say Milwaukee needs to have another half year with this dude?
No, you're not hearing what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
Orlando and Milwaukee had a conversation around the deadline about a swap.
Oh.
Okay then.
About a swap, okay. And you're talking picks and players?
Yes.
Picks
Milwaukee wants a player that they can build around for the future. And Orlando could get Giannis.
I have a theory of who that could be. I'll say it, and you just be like, yay or nay. Would that person be Paolo?
Yes.
Okay. I think
Orlando, Milwaukee had a conversation about Giannis for Paolo around the trade.
Interesting.
Sources say.
I love it. Okay. We'll just leave that. Yes.
There's your clip.
It's cool by me, man. Listen, cool by me. I'm all for that. I think, all right, now that we're getting deeper, well, we ain't got deeper yet. We're still in the first round. But it's just playoffs is continuing. You're seeing the Detroit Pistons not doing so hot, and they were the top seed. Is this still, and the Celtics stay on a high right now? Is this still the Celtics conference that you have to go through, or does Detroit have a chance to even make any noise to get back?
I don't see Detroit evening it up. No, I do think that it is Boston's conference, but some would argue that if Detroit is out, this is the year the Knicks could go after it. But I don't want to show my Regency bias because I still think that the Boston Celtics are the better team between the two.
Right. Okay. Because, I mean, the thing is, the Knicks having that. I mean, I didn't see that this series was going to go the way that it's going, but I'm grateful for that series the way that it's going, being tied 2-2 and stuff like that, because the Hawks are a team that can cause issues. Is this the last chance for the New York Knicks?
Not if they get Giannis.
So how many teams, now you said where you think he may go, but how many teams do you believe will have a great opportunity at getting Giannis?
2 to 3.
You mentioned 2 of them. What's the third? Does he stay in his own division in this team?
You're asking me about Chicago. I say no.
Okay. They don't hurt my heart, but it's fine.
Asset wise, despite the fact that their name is in the news for negative reasons and for financial reasons, I think the only other team not named the Knicks, not named Orlando, that could have a chance in the Giannis sweepstakes is the Portland Trailblazers.
Huh. Okay. Have you heard any rumblings on Portland's side of them remaining in the city of Portland?
No.
Have you heard anything about them moving elsewhere?
No.
Okay. All right. That's what I kind of, because seeing some of the action that they got going on, because everybody's not a fan of Tom Dundon. And I will say that myself because of what happened in 2019 with a fledgling league known as the Alliance of American Football. And when he got his hands on it, he closed it because he felt like there was nothing to give. And money-wise, there was a big financial problem. And that's what he's been known as, a cheap owner. And so he cut a lot of cost.
Sure.
And so, all right, because I wanted to be sure, and I know hearing it from you, that lets me know what's up. Hey, so St. Louisans, we shutting this down. We shutting this down today.
So no Houston Rockets? No Houston Rockets for Giannis?
I mean, they were a team that were looking at Giannis last spring. If you go back to my reporting, is it related to KD and teams interested in him in the spring of last year? And you looked at Houston, and I think Houston has the assets to ship to Milwaukee. I think that's another team. Again, anything that Milwaukee wants is that they want something in return of equal value or of building value for him. And so when you look at just talking, nothing I've heard, just talking, you look at the Thompsons, the Easons, like other pieces that are young talent on that team. To me, that would make plausible sense. And also, a piece that they like, getting pieces that would help that team. I spoke to a Milwaukee Bucks official Saturday about the notion of Giannis. And their response to me was point blank, I don't know, Scoop, because it's so very difficult and complicated.
Mm.
And that
Wow.
was with Doc Rivers or with Taylor Jenkins. Just the level of complexity that it would take to keep him versus let him go. You know, it just was intimated to me that he's a weird dude, but I think like the Bucks and Giannis are like a country western. And even if they both quick draw, they could both quick draw and shoot at the same time and they both lose. That's how it's been all season. But you know, I'll go back to my reporting last spring where I said Giannis is looking to play for a team that is in the Eastern Conference. He's looking to play for a team where he has a level of creative control and has a family-like atmosphere like Milwaukee, right? So
Orlando just seems to make sense now after you say it.
So that's why Orlando.
That's why I ain't saying nothing else.
Right.
Orlando make perfect sense.
So you look at that, right? Then to me, you look at Portland. Have y'all been to Portland before?
Negative.
Nope.
Ain't nothing going on there.
Sound like Cleveland? The way J.R.
Cleveland,
Smith put it.
Cleveland has its spots though, and a low key. Cleveland is a food city on the low. But there's a nightlife. It's I can't compare Cleveland to Portland. No.
Okay.
I will compare Portland to Portland, but if I had to compare it to something else, maybe a slower Seattle or like I can't compare Portland to anything that's like that. No, it's not Cleveland. But to go back to what I'm saying, just about family atmosphere, you know, you the Nets have a family atmosphere, but it's in New York, and they're not going to cater to him nor bring his brothers there.
Got you. Say less.
Orlando.
Got it. No, I got it.
Maybe. You would think prior to Masai Ujiri leaving Toronto that was a lock. But from everything that I know, Toronto's not giving up Scotty Barnes. And I don't think Toronto's giving up Brandon Ingram either.
Yeah. Okay.
I know that Toronto was looking to get Ja Morant at points during the season. Sending Emmanuel quickly is not enough. So
what is okay?
So what are you gonna ask me?
What's the future for him looking like
Quickly?
for Ja?
Oh, for
Ja
Ja?
Morant. Griffith don't seem like the answer at this point.
Who doesn't?
Memphis don't seem like the answer at this point.
Memphis.
Memphis.
I mean, from everybody that I've spoken with, Sacramento, Phoenix, you have an interest in them, and you know if you're Phoenix and you move Jalen Green, I think Memphis would be fine with that, but Sacramento, from a basketball perspective, from a rehabbing image perspective, and just being able to play free flow basketball, I think he'd have a longer rope in Sacramento. But are you going to win games? I look at the Sacramento Kings as a 2-year project. Phoenix made it to the playoffs, and I really do believe that a Devin Booker pairing with Ja Morant play a lick of defense, but offensively they'd be great to watch.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Last thing I think I want to touch on real quick before we get out of here is after the Thunder just swept the Suns, is it still them for a championship, or does somebody come in like the San Antonio come in and potentially wipe them out?
I mean, the only other two teams, not the only two other team not mentioned, you know, it's maybe the Lakers.
Like they still have it. Wow. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Not a lot of people would love a potential Celtic Laker matchup again in the NBA Finals, and it's almost like one last hurrah of sorts for LeBron at 41. So, and quiet as kept, Bronny James is starting to really evolve with the Lakers. Is it you saying that the Lakers even have a shot at being in the finals?
My thought process is San Antonio and Oklahoma in the conference finals.
Yes.
However, if not them, if not one of those teams, the only other team in the West that I not name them that I like is the Lakers. That's my opinion. That's from my assessment of watching the team. But at face value, San Antonio and Oklahoma is who I'd like to see and who I believe will be in the conference finals.
Perfect. Okay. All right. I think I was able to get all I needed. Let's do this before you go, sir. I know you got a bit of news, achievement-wise. You got something special coming up this week. Tell our audience a little bit about this upcoming celebration that you got coming up for Scoop B.
Last episode of Scoop B Radio drops on Thursday, and we've been running for 10 years. We've had anybody from the voice of Siri, DJ Khaled, Mark Cuban, Shaquille O'Neal, Isaiah Thomas, Charles Barkley, and other people on the show. And we are moving on to new projects. And so the last episode of Scoop B Radio will drop on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to Scoop B TV on YouTube. And you can check that last episode out on Thursday.
Who's the final guest? Do you have any final guests? Or?
I have a final guest.
Okay. You're not saying anything. Got you. That means you got it. I feel you. All right. I'll probably get a message, but if not, it's fine. I'll be like everybody else and just wait and see.
Yes.
Okay. What was the other thing I was going to ask you? Oh, can we talk about the other thing that happened with you?
What other thing happened?
That you're now a client of some sorts for a company, or no?
Oh, I signed with a talent agency, Buckwald Talent Agency, based in New York City, and looking at new moves with them as far as.
Congratulations on that, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Doc.
Congratulations on that, man. I was like, let me ask him, see if he would talk about it a little bit, but I wanted to make sure. And congratulations on that, man. And congratulations on 10 years of Scoop B Radio. Thank you. I hope a lot of people will tune into this final episode. You know how people feel about finales and stuff. And so we'll definitely tune in and check that out. And make sure you continue to follow Scoop B on social media. Where, sir?
At Scoop B on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to Scoop B TV on my YouTube channel, and visit the Scoop B blog at scoopb.com as well.
Indeed. All right, sir.
Always good to see you, man.
Reverend Doctor, always good to see you. A-Train, always good to see you as well.
Yes, sir. Definitely, we're gonna have this. You got to continue this even after the fact. Don't look at us little people now, man. Now that you done gained, you ain't got an agent and stuff and all that, man. Don't be looking at us crazy.
Now he got some more offering. Now he can get some more offering. He don't want.
I
big
had
time
an agent before. We all put our pants leg on one leg at a time, and I'm not that type of person. Sometimes I just like to be to myself and not be bothered with people. But I
feel that.
Like that. So yes. And yes, instead of $1 in the offering, I could put $20 in
there. We appreciate the 20, man. The 20 go a long way. It go a long way, man. They help with a water bill.
For the building fund.
Yeah, man. It helped with something. It helped with something. Believe me.
Yes, sir.
Good grief, good grief. All right, we're gonna get back at it on Thursday. We got to pull in. Train is
Yes,
stocking
sir.
on this edition today. We want to thank, I guess, Scoop B for jumping in, talking some NBA. You know, we love hearing what he has to say about everything that's going on in the world of the association. And you know, he's always welcome. Come back on this show. And
Who you predicting to win it all, man?
I don't know, man. I hate those. Whoever wins, God bless him.
I just wanted to see if I can get him to trip up once, just one time.
No.
Listen, to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. Oklahoma City Thunder are defending the crown. I've got things loading over Scoopy.com with some of the members of the Thunder on the written side, so be looking out for that. But you know, they're a well-oiled machine, and
Yeah, man.
their head coach is Mark Dagnall, and they're stars, and even they're unsung heroes, like, you know, or guys that aren't the focal point, that aren't Jalen Williams and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, like Luke Dort and Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren. I like that team, and but we'll see. I think it's, in my opinion, I think in the West it's going to come down to Oklahoma and San Antonio. In the East, you know, you got the Celtics, who have something to prove, and it's going to be interesting to see. It'll be
It's going to be interesting.
How many years is this? This is 30 years for you, or
around the league?
Yeah,
29.
Ooh. So next year be the big three. My lord, my lord. All right. Well, let's get up on out of here, man. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to this edition of the A-Train Show. Thursday, we back at it again. And everything WWE on Thursday. So we got to get that entertainment talk in. So, Scoop B, thank you so much. Reverend Doctor.
Yes, sir.
See you then, man.
All day. Peace and hair grease, baby.
Peace and hair grease. Right hand salute. We out of here, man. Take care now.
This is the X Fan Show. For the fans, by the fans.